What's up, everybody? Welcome to TPI, the Total Podcast Idiot Show, where we cover everything and anything related to Hardwood, the best game ever created. I'm Total Podcast Idiot number one, Robert. That's Total Podcast Idiot number two, Andrew over there. Andrew, how you doing on this fine Sunday?
I'm doing pretty well. Good day for my teams. Winning by lots. Dominican's margin of victory is like 50 points per game right now. So I mean, we're doing okay. I don't think we played a complete schlubs either. I mean, I played myself, I guess, one game. That was a pretty schlubby matchup.
Couldn't let us go 2 minutes without mentioning Dominican, huh?
Nah. I
I
mean,
changed you from Total Podcast Champion back to Total Podcast Idiot. The first thing you lead off with is Dominicans beating everybody by 52.
I think it's like reverse. If you do one way, then I'll do, the other thing.
Okay, sounds good. Good to know.
How are you doing though? How are your teams and recruiting and everything?
Well, one of my teams got a recruit on day one of the recruiting commitment
That's right.
period, which is
Yeah,
I don't think that's ever happened for us, right? You've had a
that
day
would be a
two, right?
first. I've had a day two, but we've never had a day one until today or this season. I mean,
Yeah. So I was quite excited by that. Now it's obviously extra interesting because we had the red shirt podcast discussion that we did on Thursday where we talked about possible red shirt penalties. And I was like, well, I don't feel it, blah, blah, blah. And then literally a 4-star that I'm going after, a season after redshirting a 4-star, I get on day one of the recruiting period. He doesn't have an eager to commit early comment, yet he still signs. It's beautiful. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
life.
and you were mentioning him on that episode too. Taking not many contacts to get to high and everything. So maybe he heard that and he's like, I like that. I like
You
that
know,
confidence.
it's good to know that Julius Scholl is a devout listener. I'm glad to know that he's one of our YouTube
Yeah,
subscribers.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, that'd be great if our players well they'd help for our views too, of course. Yeah.
Would it be great? Because literally your players would be sick every other fucking week. Oops. Sorry for
you,
dropping an F bomb.
you mean with how much I say like, oh, it looks like they might get some tummy aches.
looks like my starting five might get some tummy aches. Uh-oh, there's an outbreak of E. coli in the team training room. My starting center has MRSA. Like what? What?
I never said
No, but I can see it coming.
that. Yeah, that'd be funny.
I'm surprised none of your starting players on either of your teams had a MRSA outbreak when you played each other.
Honestly, I like looking at the red shirt like situation for Dominican especially. I'm starting to find games to like use them like coming up, so it probably would have been smart to use one of those games on myself for Dominican, but then like CNR New Rochelle, it doesn't work in the reverse. So I don't think it would have been good to like play one team's red shirts and not play the others. But that's kind of how it would have worked out with the plan that I like
So you
kind
don't
of
think you
have.
don't think that would have been beneficial?
For Dominican, it would have been, but for New Rochelle, like I think New Rochelle's non-con is like really weak, and in some of the conference that I can use my red shirts for those games. So
I mean,
yeah,
let's say you just played your starters with New Rochelle and then played your red shirts with Dominican. Like, what's the issue?
well, but the issue is that if New Rochelle beats, I think I would prefer Dominican beating New Rochelle because Dominican has higher hopes in terms of the postseason than New Rochelle. So if New Rochelle beats Dominican, that's bad for Dominican, not as helpful for New Rochelle.
Okay, fair enough. I
Yeah,
mean, it might be safe to say that playing your red shirts and Rochelle still loses.
this is true. I mean, that's possible. I mean, Dominicans red shirts are like not bad, but I don't think they would have been as good,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
because that's like a 120 true freshman point guard going up against a 170 junior point guard. Then that would have been tough.
and yet Dominican still beat Rochelle by 52.
Yeah, maybe there would have been space still to afford it.
Dominican's margin of victory was larger than Rochelle's points scored in the entire game.
Yep. But I mean, yeah, those are my teams so far. I mean, I think we're doing okay. Yeah, how are your teams though? I mean, I think Oswego is 4-0, Santa Clara
Two
is
and two.
2-2. Okay, but you played a tough schedule a bit, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm redshirting both Zion and Bruce Herb, Zion McAndrews and
Okay.
Bruce Herb. So like, I have no expectations for the season at all,
Well, you got
and
to stick
so
with it, right? I mean, that's what we talked
yeah,
about. You got to stick with that plan.
gotta be resolute. Now I started them against, who did I start them against? I started them the first non-con game of the season, and then
Against
that's when I decided,
UCLA, right?
yeah, against UCLA, and then it was a close game. We only lost what, by
You
seven,
said like 8-5, yeah.
seven, yeah. But then I decided I'm going to redshirt them. So those 4 games that I have left for each one of them, I'm going to divide up for conference games and see if I can't sneak out some W's with the added help.
2 against Dominican, right there,
No, they will not play against
right?
Dominican. They're going to play games that we could possibly win to try and survive. So Arkansas State.
Right. That yeah, I think that makes sense, definitely. Yeah, you don't necessarily use them against games that you're gonna lose. Not that you're gonna automatically lose against me.
I'm going to lose against you. It's fine. We can admit that now.
But yeah, I mean, like we said, if you're able to plan it out, and not everyone has the time to do that, but if you do, um, try to think about all that. But yeah, so um, yeah, that was some of what we talked about last episode. We'll constantly bring it up in terms of our plan and how we evaluate teams.
Yeah, and I actually got some really good feedback in the Discord from a couple of people commenting on my situation, and I appreciate their input. It definitely helped me weigh some factors and think about some things. But you know, I think I'm gonna be resolute in redshirting those guys. So we'll see.
All right, all right. So what are we talking about today? I mean, this is the week 1 recap of our 3rd season. That's what I can't really get my head around. This is our third
Our third
third
season
season, right?
podcasting.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
Holy
crazy.
shit. We're almost coming up on our 1 year anniversary on the game.
Oh yeah, I know. 1 month away, basically.
Yeah, Santa Clara's first day was May 18th.
Wow.
Exactly a month away. Like not,
Hmm.
31 days or whatever, but exactly a month away.
That's right. That's right. I mean,
Wow, that's wild.
what are we gonna do? I guess I gotta start making a video or something.
We should, for the 1 year anniversary, we should record a podcast in person or something.
Okay, okay. I'm down. I'm down.
You can come over and we'll celebrate or something like that.
Sounds good. I mean, we're both vaccinated, and we need to hang out. We need to hang out in real life too.
Yeah, exactly. We're the total podcast idiots. Idiots hang out in real life.
All right. So
Anyways,
what are we going to talk about today? I think everyone probably knows already. Well, because
yeah.
it's in the title of the video, which
So
we don't know yet. But
yeah, exactly. We don't have the title yet. Typically at the end of the week on Sundays, we like to recap some of the, biggest happenings in each of the conferences or some select conferences and stuff like that. It's pretty early on in the season. We're 4 non-con.
4 games.
Yeah, 4
Yeah.
non-con games in. So it's like we can't really make any bold predictions about anything, right? It's just not enough data to make an informed
Oh, I
decision.
mean, they can be bold. I mean, we can make predictions. They can be bold, but they're
As
not
I
going to be well
said,
informed.
exactly. It's not enough data to make a well-informed decision.
Yeah, yeah.
So instead of that, I think we're going to look at some of the early teams that are maybe surprising or not surprising. Some of the like weird cases in terms of rank and RPI and TPI and stuff like that, and point out some oddities.
Yeah, I think we're gonna look like those extremes of like high TPIs, low RPI rank, or the other way around. Yeah, so we've picked out some teams that I don't know. I think they're really funky. So we'll start with D1. In I think right off the bat, I mean, South Florida catches RRI, right?
Yeah, I mean they're 9th in RPI so far. Again, 4 game sample size, but their TPI is 136.5, and so sure, it's only 4 games, but if you're really high in RPI right now, that means you've been playing good teams, right? And their strength of schedule is 612, which is really really strong.
Mhm.
So they have a high RPI because they're playing and beating good teams.
Yeah, so let's look at who they've faced, right? I mean, they have 3 wins against Framingham State, Connecticut, Troy. I think Troy is D2, right? They were in our conference last season with
Yeah.
Dominican and St. Clara. I couldn't remember if they demoted or not. But yeah, they're not bad. 133 TPI, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Connecticut, right, was a LL4 team. Glue Cow, I like that name. 145.7 is really good TPI. We're not going into like the roster competitions right now. Framingham State, D2 team. Armored Giraffe was removed. He went to another school. He's still active.
Where did he go to? The
Longwood
Longwood
Lancers.
Lancers.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, and sorry, I remembered him at Framingham State because he's like,
Yeah.
he's written some PRs, but now he moved. But I was like, I recognize the name. Like I remember seeing them active still. I just couldn't
Yeah.
remember where. But anyways, like 137 TBI, again, pretty solid, especially for D2. But then you see that they got South Florida, again, that's what we're focusing on, not all these other teams. They got smoked on the road at #1 now, Florida State. I don't think they were #1 at the time, but
Which,
yeah,
like, first of all, no shame
no
to get
shame.
smoked on the road against a team as good as Florida State.
Right.
We're not shaming anybody, but yeah, they got manhandled.
Yeah. So, I mean, we talk about that RPI being #9. And like we said, those 3 wins, solid wins. But I think it's really getting propped up to like all the way to #9 because of facing Florida State. Like, yeah, they lost, but just facing a really good team can like raise your RPI because it really boosts that strength of schedule,
Yeah, for sure. Like, especially when you're playing like Florida State, we said they're the #1 ranked team in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really, really going to skew your early strength of schedule. But I mean, still, they have a 136.5 TPI. They've beaten a team better than them, right? We said, I don't remember which team it was, but we said they had a 145.7 TPI.
They beat 2 teams with TPIs better than them. They beat Connecticut, who's at
Yeah,
145, and then Framingham State actually has like a 137. So yeah, I mean,
yeah,
like it's not a like, I think it just stands out in terms of like being this high, but like they should have a good RPI. Just I don't know. It seems like weird to have it be this high.
yeah, for sure. Do you want to like look at their roster a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've been in the same conference as them for a couple seasons. Not now. I mean, they promoted and I didn't. Sag.
Oh, is that's one of the teams? That's right. I remember with the
this
Rochelle. Yeah.
like a couple seasons ago, not this season, but
Okay. Yeah.
or not last season. But you can see their team here. Johnny Coles now finally he's a redshirt senior, man. I was facing him as like a redshirt freshman and sophomore.
Sag.
Yeah, so he's 175. and then you see the rest of their roster, like it's okay. It's solid, it has some depth and it has some
It's
size.
really young.
Yeah, it's super young. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 true freshmen or redshirt freshmen.
And then 3 redshirt sophomores. So like 10 of his 13 scholarship players are sophomores or freshmen.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it has some size. Ignacio Gamez, and Flynn, I guess, are probably the starters as like the bigs. But like Henry Marshall's a point guard, and he's 6'8.5".
So let's take a peek at what lineup he played last game. So he started.
Okay, sure.
So Henry Marshall, he had come off the bench last game.
Right, that makes sense. But
yeah,
and at power forward too, I guess. So I guess he's trying to switch him over.
So it was Duran at point guard, Coles at shooting guard, which obviously makes sense for Coles. Flynn at center, Gamma as a power forward, and Rogers as small forward.
Okay, I mean that lineup makes sense based on the roster, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a well-built team and roster. It just, it's so young, right? I mean, that's really what it is.
Yeah, it's like it's pretty much just going to be how much can Johnny Coles carry the team. It feels like it's one of those seasons where it's like Johnny Coles is going to go off a lot. He's going to get his stats, and then I bet South Florida is just aiming for a ton of development with their young players.
Yeah. I know that they usually play a decent amount of zone compared to man, right? 50% zone to just 14% man. I guess they press a decent amount. I didn't think they used to press that much. Um, when I played against South Florida, they like really reduced their minutes a lot. And it kind of seems like they're close to it now. Like, but their guys, like play 25 minutes max sometimes. Um, I guess he's increasing his starters a bit more, maybe for that development. But I mean, it's good to develop your bench too. If you're that deep and young.
So do you think he limits minutes based on like just having a deep rotation, liking to have deep rotation, getting guys minutes, or our stamina is really bad? Because I'm looking at it right now and it's like the staminas are not great at all.
Um, I can't remember historically. I thought his stamina, like when I used to play them, were like pretty solid, but they had a much older team and so
Yeah,
like more developed. So it's probably a bit of both, right? I think.
yeah, that makes sense. But this season it makes a lot of sense because like he only has a couple of guys in double digits in terms of stamina.
Mhm.
So that's kind of rough.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like only three guys double for both speed and stamina because I think speed also has an effect on like your fatigue.
Yeah, good point.
Right.
Good point.
Okay. Well, that's South Florida. What's our next team? I mean, yeah.
Let's talk about Temple. You want to talk about Temple real quick?
Yeah, let's talk about Temple. I mean, they're seven. I guess we maybe start with them. No, well, it was the other way around. Temple, this is a case of a really strong TPI team. Yeah, we're skipping over Mississippi and Florida State because we always talk about them.
Yeah, exactly.
But they deserve shout outs too, I think. But Temple, I don't think we usually talk about them. They're LO4. They've demoted a couple seasons in a row, I believe. Right? They were LO2 here and then LO3 last year and then now LO4. So they were on a bit of a downturn and maybe still, because I mean their TPI was in the 150s at the end of the seasons, past two seasons. Now it starts in the 150s. Um, so you can see, yeah, they were seventh in RPI. You can see Todd Freeman is quite a good player to lead the team.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so like you said, they have a really good RPI. They played really strong teams. Their strength schedule is like 579. Um,
Let's
so
see,
let's just take a peek at the teams they've played.
Illinois, St. Joseph's. I know is like I think they're LO4. Yeah, St. Joe's.
Lincoln Memorial's
Um,
LL5.
mhm.
But they played them on the road, beat them
They
handily.
played. They beat DePaul.
DePaul.
We know DePaul is good.
We're happy when anybody beats DePaul.
Actually, but look at their
Just
second
kidding.
half of non-con. This is a murderous second half of non-con. Number 18, Ursinus, St. Mary's. Number 12, Misericordia. Eckerd is really like they were solid. I don't know how they are this year.
San
San
Diego.
Diego, Molenberg is like I think they're D2, no, LO3. They're D1. Yeah, I mean that's a crazy second half of the schedule.
It really is actually.
Like the like they're number seven in RPI, and maybe a lot of that is because they went 4-0, but like that's the easy part of their schedule.
So now we raise the question, they're LL4, right? So, once we get away from LL1, 2, and 3, there's a lot of variation with the strength of conference in LL4. It's give or take the same as some of the LL5 conferences and whatnot. So maybe in this case, Temple and El Jefe wanted to play a really strong non-con, right? In order to boost their early RPI and strength of schedule, knowing that
Mhm.
the rest of their conference schedule is going to kind of be a little meh. Like, I don't know. Let's take a look at their conference.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I have that all set up. I don't. Hold on, everybody. Um, so they're LL what one? Yeah. Or sorry, not one. I'm getting mixed up today. 4.1.
I feel so happy about myself.
So they're 10th in TPI in D1. And then you can see the rest of their conference. Cal here at 33, 63 with Mississippi State, 74, 76. Like, it's not a bad conference.
It's not
Um,
it's not bad, but like the next best team being 33rd in TPI, right? Like it's not historically all that strong. And there's only
right.
two top 50 TPI teams.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then even this 30 spot jump is like pretty big too.
Yeah, and I think even more importantly, there's 3 sub 200,
Right, right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So
and Shepard's
yeah.
right there on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think good call by LFA to like play up on the schedule, right? Yeah,
yeah.
it's
I mean,
interesting.
he probably wants to make the tourney this year. Feels like he has a good enough team to make the tourney, and
Yeah,
as such, wants to make sure he doesn't skimp out on RPI. It's a fair consideration.
yeah, yeah. All right. What's our next team?
Um, who do you want to
Thanks to
talk
Rob
about?
for taking these notes, by the way.
Do you want to do IUPUI or St. Thomas?
Um, let's briefly talk about IUPUI first, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, I already have them selected up here. Ah.
Haha.
Yeah, former national champion. I love like mentioning, former national champions.
This is gonna be you.
Yeah, partially because of me. I mean, they really struggled in Legends last year. They bounced back down, but yeah, they won that championship in 2016. Um, they had a high TPI or high RPI. Sorry, this is a high RPI, but like relatively low TPI team. We thought South Florida, 136 and a half, was kind of low. 134.3 is like really, really low. I mean, for 17, for number 17 in RPI.
Or their current
Um,
standing in RPI. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, but they've played Louisiana Lafayette, uh, who we
Solid.
know well, solid team. LL. Damn, they
Oh, they
dropped.
went
I
back
forgot about that.
down.
I forgot about that. But they're a good team. Like 131.6. Like just because a team is in D2 and demoted down to D2 does not mean they're bad.
No.
They had a bad year last year, sure. Um, I don't know much about Southwestern, to be honest. They're not that great. Um, Piedmont, I don't think is that great, especially based on the score being 41 points. But beating Lipscomb is a good team. So that is a good win for sure. Um,
Yeah, you take a win over Lipscomb anytime you can get it.
yeah, yeah. And but looking at this roster, right? It just, and obviously you could tell by like the relatively low TPI. It's not like super scary, right?
Yeah, so here's an example of someone who doesn't redshirt a lot, I'm guessing.
Doesn't appear so, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if like this season he's gonna redshirt some of these, like this 15 pot center right here, Mo Ryan.
Yeah.
But it's a really young roster. Again, it's a really young roster. His top, what, 5 players are seniors and juniors, so he's going to lose a lot. But then you could
But
see
he
they're
has
really
two
low.
5-star freshmen.
Exactly. Yeah. 2 5-star freshmen, a couple of 12 pots down here, a 13 pot that's 95 SI freshman, 12 pot 90 SI freshman. And I think what you'll particularly notice about his roster is he likes to recruit size.
Yeah, yeah.
He likes to recruit length, right? So like, if we look at some of these like young guys he has, like Zane Trimble 6'8", Theo Collins is 6'6", Phil Clayton is 6'8". Let's see here. Mo Ryan's only 6'7.5". That kind of sucks.
I mean, there's a 7-foot redshirt freshman here who's a 12 pot. Like he looks really
Oh, I
good,
missed
just
him.
really underdeveloped,
I missed him. Yeah, he's raw. He's raw.
Yeah,
But
but like the stats seem like they're in the right places still,
yeah, yeah, he's got a 7'5" wingspan and he's 230 pounds.
I kind of light for a 7-footer.
So those are, yeah. But I mean, 7'5" wingspan's nice. He's gonna alter a
Yeah,
lot of shots.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like this team likes a lot of like it looks like they've shifted recently towards a lot of size too.
Yeah, especially at those guard positions. Like some of these guards that he's recruiting seem to
Right.
be taller and have longer wingspans. So
Yeah,
maybe
Ernie
he's going
Carroll
for the,
here.
yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe he's going for the Dominican strategy.
it's not just Dominican, all my teams.
If you
Both
have guys
both my
with rubber
teams, yeah.
arms, then they're gonna be the best defenders ever.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, the other thing is like well, maybe it's just because these 5 stars. I mean, there's no other 4 stars on the team, but there's just a nice mix of potential and size here. Um, yeah, I mean, it's a good team. It just doesn't look scary at the top right now. That's all.
Yeah, definitely doesn't. And again, we're highlighting the teams that have low TPIs for their relative RPI standing.
Mhm.
So this fits the bill.
Yeah. Okay. And then you mentioned another team we really saw,
St.
St.
Thomas.
Thomas down here. Okay, so like yeah, it's number 41. So like yeah, we skipped over a bunch of teams here, and they're all good. But 123 TPI is that stands out.
Yeah. So okay. So Jesus Christ,
Oh,
go to their roster.
yeah. So President Florimore, their LL4 team. Um, all right, let's just go to their roster. Oh,
It's
do
just
they have
they
Ralph
have Ralph
Banning?
Banning.
They have Ralph
Yeah.
Banning. Okay.
168 true
This
freshman.
is
Oh
Ralph
my
Banning's team.
God.
Is he playing? Is he playing right away?
Uh,
Yeah, yes, he is. 35 minutes a game, 20 points a game, 5.5 assists. I mean, it's Ralph Banning. Like,
I would redshirt him. I'm just
I mean, and then surrounded by 5 seniors.
so my guess is that he doesn't have a lot of underclassmen because he probably pumped every freaking point he had into Ralph Banning for
Yeah.
multiple years.
Yeah, right.
Like
Must have,
literally,
must have.
I generally want this president to write into us and tell us how many points he spent on Ralph Banning.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested.
It might have literally been 2 points a day for 3 consecutive seasons.
Let's see, how many points is that? That's I'm trying to do math quickly. 405.
I mean, assuming how many points, if he spent every single point he possibly could, then we have to factor in the early season points too. Like, I don't know, it's just ridiculous.
Well, it's just 135 times 3.
That's true. I guess we can assume that he only spent points on him.
I mean, because he signed no one. I mean, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I guess they could have still gone after someone else. I don't remember. So
yeah, I don't either. But like, I genuinely want to know how many contacts it took to get Ralph Fanning.
well, 405 is the max, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yeah, you look at this team, like the seniors aren't bad. Like no one's like stand out really good. I mean, just feed the ball to Manning, I guess. Like Lucas should be able to score inside, but they're kind of small. They're not that good at defense. They're not like atrocious, but like they can definitely be picked on.
I would have everybody on minus
Yeah.
and Ralph Fanning on double plus.
I mean, yeah, I just for the story, like I don't know, could he get like 4,000 points a game? Not points a game. I mean, 4,000 points in his career.
You said a game
like,
and I almost choked on my water. I was like, what?
sorry.
Hi?
Hey, I mean, I could do it in a NBA Jam. I mean, yeah, could he get 4,000 points in his career? I don't know.
Certainly possible. Like, what's the upper end of assists, you think?
I don't know.
Like, let's see what the all-time. So the all-time total points record for that school is 2,507. He's going to crush that.
Oh yeah, murder that.
Yeah, murder that. The all-time assist record is 829. I think he could probably crush that.
Well, so like 4,000. Let's 160 games. I mean, that's just regular season. I mean, we could obviously playoffs, but like 20 points a game is 3,200 points right there. 20 points a game at 160 games.
You'd have to average 25 a game for all 160 games to reach 4,000.
Yeah, could he do that? I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, he could.
We've seen players average 30 points a game in a season, 27, like
I've had
yeah.
players average 28 points a game this season. I think, and they weren't good.
Had a walk-on.
Exactly. I've had a walk-on score 28 points a game in a season.
Yeah,
I think I think the likeliest potential barrier to such an accomplishment would be that he gets a lot of other good players and it sort of takes away from his usage.
So here's a strategy I think that St. Thomas does. Demote.
I would redshirt him this year and demote.
Yeah. And like you said, don't sign good players. Demote. I mean, this is purely for the story of like making Ralph Banning like the all-time leading scorer. I'm not, if you want team success, then probably don't do these things.
I'd still redshirt him this year, demote, bring in the class that you have coming in, and then
Mhm.
have the rising. I don't know what his class even looks like.
Oh, look, yeah, I clicked on it. I mean, he's on a 4-star in California. That's a interesting usage of points. Although I think this guy's has no preference to play close to home. Comment, yeah. So
Yeah, well, he's got some ground to catch up if he's gonna win.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams there. A bunch of 3-stars, mostly in the area. Yeah, I mean, so,
I don't know how many of these guys he's actually gonna win, but
but at least they're not spending all their points on another Ralph Benning type of
yeah,
guy.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Anything else about St. Thomas?
Yeah, please write it. Please write in and let us know how many points you spent.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I care about the most.
I mean, like, looking at who they've played, I mean, Sacred Heart, one of the best teams in the game, and they're LO2. Fury's team. Ripon is a LO4 team. They're pretty solid. But then like Marietta is what you said, D3, right? Oh, D2 or D2.
D2, yeah.
Okay. And then Arcadia here is a D3 team, and president, I'm a god. All right.
He's
Or
active. He's active.
he's active. Yeah, we like that. That's good for over almost a year, actually. Almost as
Yeah.
long. That's good. All right. Hey,
He
right
joined
on.
almost around the same time we did.
Right on. Hey, come on, come on. We'll celebrate our 1 year together, y'all.
All right now.
All
All right now.
right, all right. But yeah, and that's St. Thomas, Ralph Banning. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
All
Literally.
right. One of the other teams, Vanderbilt, was one I wanted to talk about, right?
Vandy.
And this is a team that they don't redshirt people. Okay, they do redshirt some people. They redshirt 3-stars, but this is a team loaded with 4s and 5-stars. I mean, like almost exclusively, and like you can see, just 6 scholarship players.
Yep.
And that's the reason why they have such a low TPI. But they're talented, and that's why their RPI is high, and that's why they can win. And I think they're LO2.
Vandy.
Yeah.
Good old Vandy.
And this is one of the most successful programs. So like, we've talked about recruiting strategies. I think this is one I've never really thought about doing. It's not my style. Like Fury certainly doesn't do this. And I probably have prescribed mostly to Fury's methods, but this is definitely one thing. I mean, this is closer, like you're closer to this style, I would say,
Yeah. I am and probably shouldn't be.
I mean, you struggled to like really master it like Vanderbilt kind of has, but Vanderbilt also has like so much more history. I mean, this is a president that's been playing since almost the beginning of the game.
He probably presumably only has one team as well. And I had 3 at some point.
Yeah. I mean, and their prestige is like double yours, or more than double yours, probably. Like triple
Every
yours.
single team that I've worked with has also come from D3. So
Yeah. And like Vanderbilt, I think started in certainly D1, but like they started at LL3. So, but I mean, this has been a legend scene. Like, look at all these trophies.
yeah, it's freaking wild.
Yeah. Same coach the entire game. Wow, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah. They actually I
Did you
we were
look at
talking
him?
about this. His
Look,
coach?
yeah,
20 recruiting. Okay. I mean,
and 20 offense.
yeah. Well, wow. He's only 53. Oh, jeez. That's crazy.
530 and 275 record. That's wild.
Yeah.
I just wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. Like, and this is a team with like the most drafted players into the pros, I believe, in the entire game. So, they, all these 4s and 5-stars. Here's a 3-star though. Hey. So, this is their style though.
Go to his Hall of Fame.
Is it Bear? Is it Bear? Is it Bear? No, it's not. Okay.
No, it's not even close.
Oh, Jesus. Hey, yeah, but like that's worth it. Like that, I think they like deserve that.
Oh, I'm complimenting how many really good players have come through the program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, sometimes I make fun of like the teams that induct. What was that one? There's like 23 class 23 players in one class.
Yeah, that was a little bit ridiculous.
And like none of them were good.
That was a little bit ridiculous.
All right, what was another team? What was our next team?
Let's see. Let me pull up the list. I think that is going to end our higher end schedule.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the teams that are on the lower end of the RPIs thus far that are surprising. And I think, yeah, the first one that we want to talk about was Colorado.
Colorado. I don't have it sorted how I want it to be. Okay. So I'll just Control F him.
This is people watch the podcast to watch you Control F. If you didn't know.
So this is Holocron 2's second team, or Holocron 2's team, Holocron second team. I mean, I remember this is Guillermo Cordero, the story of Guillermo Cordero and his entrails in the mountains, in the Rocky Mountains, you know.
Oh my God.
191 SI, but then there's a 182 other redshirt senior 5-star guy there too. Wow. I mean, it's just a story of Cordero, Guillermo and Jerry, you know?
Guillermo and Jerry.
I mean,
it's like Tom and Jerry, but Guillermo and Jerry.
Yeah. Ojeda, you know, Ojeda's good too, of course. And you know, I mean, yeah, it falls off, but it's a solid team. Like 81,
Arnold
144.
Lemon,
that's good. A 19 IS.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, sure, with big men especially, we've talked about the fact that they don't have to be high SI to have really high impacts on the game. And Arnold Lemon's like a really good example of that.
Yeah, I mean, like the rest of his big man stats aren't like great.
Yeah.
You know, 7 in strength, 9 and 9 here. He's like 235. I saw. You know, he's okay, but then you look at this 19 IS and you're like, whoa, okay.
This is the first season. Fun fact: the first season that Lemon is getting any real serious playing time.
Dang. Okay.
I mean, I guess his true fresh or his redshirt freshman season, he got like 19 minutes a game, but he's averaging 30 minutes a game this season. So yeah.
I mean, I guess there must have been guys ahead of him. That's all.
I can't help it, but every time I see Lemon, all I think of is you won't get a lemon at Toyota of Orange.
I see that license plate all over the place.
Yeah, I hate it. Okay, anyway,
sorry. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's pretty easy to see like where this team is focused, you know.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, they're going to go as far as Guillermo Cordero goes.
I'm curious who the point guard is, though.
Well, let me go to the schedule, and I'll tell you. So they played Rollins in their last game.
Statistics.
It was.
Oh, he's not Lemon. Is it Singleton? No.
No, Gavin Johnston.
Gavin Johnston. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So a high b-ball IQ guy, but passing 9, ball handling 8, and driving 7. Not the things that would be ideal for a true point guard.
Yeah, and perimeter defense of 7.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of Braden's old teams, and I don't know how much like of a remnant is Braden's recruiting versus Holocron's, because I can't quite remember. I think Holocron like just took over recently because Colorado's kind of bought for a while too.
Yeah.
And I think Braden is like notoriously known for eschewing defense, basically.
Okay, fair enough.
You know, for like highly skilled offensive players, and you can see that kind of works here.
Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of what's going on. I'm not entirely sure.
For sure, gonna have to give Holocron some time to form the roster in his image and whatnot. He's on 6 guys right now, recruiting wise.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of open scholarships, so
yeah.
An Aussie, a Latvian.
It looks like he's gonna win at least 4 or 5 of them. I don't know about Kerry Kirk.
Probably he's given up on Kirk, I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Good luck, Holocron. You stole my coach. I hate you still.
All right.
Literally, hold on. Go back and go to coaches.
Okay.
Just as a little side segue. Ricky Gillespie. Okay. I was clicking the sign button with Oswego to sign him as my head coach. And it's like literally as I'm clicking it, right? It's like, oh, coach no longer available or whatever. It wouldn't let me sign him. And I click it and he had just went to Colorado.
Oh, ouch.
I hate it. Feels bad, man.
Feels bad. All right, let's move on though.
Okay, yeah. So the other 2 teams that we want to talk about were Kansas and Pacific.
Okay, yeah. Kansas, not Kansas State, this one. 212 in RPI.
212.
149.3. That we talk about, standing on the other, like, low in the trees of the high TPIs. This is a tall tree in the low forest of this range.
I was wondering where you're going with that. I was like,
Low shrubs. Yeah, the shrubbery, that works.
there
Hey,
you go.
but they got whooped by Kansas State, and not whooped. I mean, 16 isn't crazy bad in their rivalry game here.
Part of the Big Eight thingy, right?
Yeah. I think they
Original Eight
normally,
or whatever it's called.
I kind of feel like they normally have like a rivalry game anyways, but obviously, yeah, it's part of the Big Eight rivalry group now. I don't know. Losing Oberlin doesn't seem too great. An LL6 team who's 127 TBI. It was at home. It was in Kansas. Eesh.
Doesn't seem great at all.
Not sure what happened.
At the time that they played, the weighted skill index difference was 30. So that was quite the disappointing result, I imagine, for Kansas.
Yeah. But then they came back and beat some Albany State butt.
Beat some Albany State butt.
I mean, I wanted to use the other word, but I don't know.
I already dropped an F-bomb. You can say ass.
Well, some of us have higher standards.
Who? Please tell me who it is. Because it's not either of the Total Podcast Idiots.
All right. This team is a lot of, well, it's both at Sheldon and Greenfield, right? I mean, those are the two stars here. Dirk Garrett and Jalen Daniel, though, like, form a nice center platoon. I don't actually know who starts. I know Greenfield is actually the power forward, so one of these guys doesn't start, and it's Jalen Daniel does not start. Feels bad, Jalen Daniel.
Feels real bad, Jalen.
To be a redshirt senior and not start. I guess he started last year, so he kind of like, okay. I don't know.
Maybe his defense isn't good enough.
Quite possibly. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, this is Kansas for you.
Kansas is obviously another really young team. They're cycling a lot of seniors out this year. Got a lot of redshirt sophomores, some freshmen there. I imagine they're probably trying to hit pretty big on this class, considering they have six scholarships available. So
yeah, 6 scholarships. Wow. So yeah, let's look at the recruit. Nope. Oh wait, wrong team. Sorry, this is McDaniel.
Oh, I was like, oh, wait a second.
Because it's like, you click a team and then it's like,
yeah.
Okay,
There
so
you
they're
go.
on 5 dudes, but they're like losing on 4 of them.
Okay. Well, that's one certain strategy.
Yeah, I 13 pots though. It's 13 pots. Wow.
I'm
They're
gonna
shooting high.
go in on DeMarco Bradford there. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna sniper recruit from the podcast.
All right. But yeah, that's Kansas for you. I don't know. You have any other thoughts?
Nope. I think we covered it pretty well.
What's you said Pacific?
One more quick thought. Since it's relevant. The Big Eight rivalry group that they're doing is tomorrow's week 5, their second round of rivalry games.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
was there
Kansas is playing Nebraska tomorrow.
Okay. And I think K. Henry posted a little something about like just like a summary of the games, right? I think they did.
Did he?
There's so many stupid posts about asking for 2 games in one day. Jesus.
He did like the week 2 results and standings, and then did like a quick little table thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I had to sift through all those posts talking about some dude asking to play 2 games in one day. I was like, no, it's so dumb.
I am for this.
You're
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You have less time than me. You want?
I know. I'm totally kidding. I can't handle 1 game a day. 2 teams. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, he has like a scoring system too. About like the quality of the game and stuff. So that's interesting. So I don't know. We'll see how this shakes out. But tomorrow's the second game to go down.
Yeah. So like, we're doing pods where people move up and down, and instead they're doing like a Premier League style table where you get points based on if it's like a road win, home win, and then at the end, whoever has the most points at the top of the table, I imagine, will be the Big Eight champion.
That's super cool.
It's
I'm
really
excited.
cool. Yeah, it's super unique. So I just wanted to mention that while we saw Kansas.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the other team, Pacific. And we can talk about Portland. Kind of, we hit on Portland a lot. Richard Love, obviously, but Pacific actually caught our eye, being a 150 TPI, but 177 in RPI. An LL3 team here. They're near WCC group, not like your group of 4, but like in the overall group of 8.
They're in the better one, yeah.
But they beat St. Mary's on a last second shot, I believe, buzzer beater by 1. So I mean that's a good win for sure. But then they lose to Westfield State, and they lost to Brown here. But they beat Pacific Lutheran, who's not awesome. Oh, Penguin, man, he probably wants Dominican. I mean, they lose to Westfield State, 114 TPI. And I think this is Punkska's 3rd team, I think.
So I'm actually really curious. So can you bring up the box score of one of those games against the worst teams?
Sure.
I want to compare it to the box score against St. Mary's and see if you say played the same lineup.
Okay.
So let's see.
I mean, he's playing a 153 weighted SI. That's probably just about his best team.
Yeah. Yeah, James, Crouch, Lane, Rooney, Marino. Yeah, he played the same lineup.
Yeah.
I don't know. Imagine beating St. Mary's on a buzzer beater and then coming back and losing to a bad team.
Yeah, right. I mean, and this is a solid team. Like, I know Stevie Lane is a 5-star from center from Missouri, 6'6". I know like this president spent a lot of points on him because being out of state 5-star is going to be a lot of points.
He doesn't have a lot of size though.
No, yeah. I mean, Dion Evans is like the tallest guy who gets minutes.
So he's playing Lane at center.
Mm-hmm. Marino and Rooney in the backcourt, Crouch, and James as the forwards. Yeah.
So he's got a 6'6" center.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a 12 interior defense. Sure, that's good. He's got a 17 strength. That's really good. But if you're only 6'6", what's his wingspan? 7'1". Okay, so I mean, it still leaves a lot to be desired in terms of a center.
Yeah.
I mean, in the 4 games this year alone, he's giving up 59.1% from the field. Mm-hmm. And he's never given up worse than 50% from the field in his entire career.
Right.
So like, I imagine that's a big source of, maybe the teams that were lower TPI that he lost to just had really good centers. They went off.
I mean, just doing some quick math, right? I mean, he's given up 26 points in the 4 games. So like 6 points a game, 6.5 points a game.
Actually, that's not bad.
Just from like who he's directly guarding. And that's like while he's defending, that's not even like if the other guy's open, like he doesn't get credit for that. But then 3 fouls a game as well.
It's true,
yeah. I've never done this math before, like now.
So 2 of the games he fouled out.
Yeah. Wow. This is a lot of DQs. I mean, for his career. Yeah.
He's Rasheed Wallace. He doesn't like playing the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely getting a bit picked apart, I'd say, for sure.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, and I mean, Marino is a good point guard, I think.
Yep.
Rooney looks like a good shooting guard. Yeah.
Marino's very much the build that you like. He's 6'5.5", 6'11" wingspan, 205 pounds, which is really good for like a perimeter guy. 14 perimeter defense. Those are all things that you'd be like, hell yeah.
Yeah, very much.
He's just a 4-star, so you'd be like, hell no.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like a kind of a small roster, which we've pointed out before is TPI doesn't mean everything. It's about builds and size and
team comment.
Tactics as well. And yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What else do we got? Is that it for D1?
I think that's it for D1.
Okay.
Want to move over to D2?
Let's move over to D2, one of our favorite divisions.
There's
only
D2,
3
baby.
divisions. All right. Who do we have here? Do you remember who we have? I know one team because it's way up here. This is my favorite.
Let's just start with them.
I mean,
I-
okay, you
Let's
could
start
see it
with
right
them.
here. If
Yeah.
Will Emmett being 15th in TPI, 3-1, good start. 538 SOS is like not bad, but a 114 TPI. I mean, what can you say?
I mean, 114 is bad.
Let's go to their roster.
Even
right?
for D2, 114 is bad.
I know, yeah. Even for D3, I would be like, I mean, they're not going to be like the worst team in D3, of course,
But
like,
you're not probably not contending for promotion.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But this team, I mean, Billy Joe O'Leary, we were doing some prep for this, and let's just look at this guy's game log.
Literally, Willamette is Billy Joe Leary.
I know.
Billy
I
Joe
mean,
Leary is a Willamette.
you can see like 180 SI. You know, he's very talented. I don't even know what to say. Look at this box score.
At 3 straight 40-point games. So what's impressive, he dropped 41 against Franklin Pierce on 23 shots. That's really good.
Now Franklin Pierce isn't good, but still.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
42 on 32 shots, 16 for
Mhm.
32. That's 50% from the field. It's really
Mhm.
good. And then 46 on 28 shots at better than 50% from the field against Texas.
Yeah, yeah. And didn't even hit any fatigue.
I mean, that's a monster stretch. Like
Yeah.
I'm very curious how many guys have scored had 3 straight games where they scored a 40 plus. And I'm very curious to see how much on that list had 3 straight games where they shot 50% or better from the field at 40 plus.
Yeah,
I would imagine that list is very small. You could probably count the guys on one hand.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Because Arnie never did 50% from the field.
37.8 points a game for the season. 50, like you said, 53% from the field on the season. 62% effective field goal percentage. 1.16 points per possession, which is like, honestly, that's not amazing.
No.
But just I think the volume more than the efficiency. I mean, the efficiency is impressive too, of course.
But there's also an argument to be had that when you are your team's only good player, that like if you're still efficient at this volume, then that's impressive, you know?
Right. Yeah. Now here's the thing. Willamette isn't what I would call good.
I mean, I don't think anybody would call Willamette good.
Right. Yeah. 2 scholarship players. Dwight Krause, not a bad big man either, you know. 143.
By the way, this is
6'11".
a bot, so we're not just trashing someone.
Yeah. Sorry. This is a bot.
So, yeah, we don't want somebody to believe that we're just trashing their team, or like somebody think that the public think we're trashing someone's team.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you can see obviously other problems with it. So yeah, I mean, the name of the game is stopping Billy Joe O'Leary and maybe Dwight Krause. Does Dwight Krause score too? I mean, or is he not allowed to? Yeah, he is.
Those two are averaging like what, 50 between them?
More than that. Yeah. So closer to 60 even.
Yeah, like 55-ish.
Yeah. What can you say? That's crazy.
They have a 102 SI 9-pot walk-on, Nicholas Medrano, who played one game and scored 25.
Oh my gosh.
Who is the coach of this team? He's trash.
Irvin Harvey. Yeah, he's not that good. I mean, he's good in development and good in recruiting, but defense is awful.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah. With this game, man.
Wild stuff.
You know, we've seen players like carry teams really far, but even then, like those teams had other talent, and this team, I mean, yeah, there's Dwight Krause, there's Nicholas Medrano, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this team.
Yeah, Keandre Harvey's not bad, but I don't know. Like, good luck. Well, not good luck because it's a bot.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What's another team? Eastern Washington? Is that
Eastern Washington?
Cool. So, you know, I mean, you can see here it's 7th in RPI, 4-0. Again, not a terrible strength of schedule. 524 is like okay, but a 120 TPI, which I mean, in comparison to what we just reviewed, like, hey, 120 ain't bad.
It's better than 114.
Yeah, but like, obviously there's no Billy Joe O'Leary here. And the top guys, like they're okay, but it's not spectacular. And there's some size, there's some youthful size down here. Um, and I guess Acevedo too, pretty good. I would assume Erickson is actually playing this
Erickson
year.
or Schultz, Stacy Schultz, one of the two.
Yeah, I would assume Schultz might redshirt. Oh no, he's playing 20 minutes a game off the bench.
Okay, hold on.
Erickson starts. Erickson starts at center or starts.
Redshirt one of the two. Don't play both of them.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would redshirt Schultz. Redshirt Schultz. You have Eric DeBongo. Where's he playing?
Yeah. Yeah, played DeBongo. I mean, he is 15 minutes a game as backup center.
Is he rotating games between Schultz and Erickson or something? I don't know.
No, because they both played 4 games.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know then. Maybe one of them plays power forward.
It looks like his guys only play like 20 minutes a game. Here, we can go to the stats.
Oh, he's just got a really deep rotation.
Yeah, I mean Schultz at 20 minutes a game. Acevedo is his complement, like perfect complement. Yeah. DeBongo at 15. Erickson again, another perfect, like completely totaling at 40 minutes.
Yeah. Definitely
yeah.
not the approach that I would take, but
Oops, wrong team.
Doesn't mean it's the wrong approach.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the deepest team, but I think there's enough size that they can make it like work. Like you could shift Tandigan into power forward some minutes. Like I think they could shorten the rotation, lengthen the minutes, or boost the minutes, and then like be able to redshirt someone. I agree.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll see what works out for him.
Yeah. Okay, who else we got?
In the sake of time, let's look at Nazareth.
Okay, Taves Souls team here.
So first of all, Taves, we love you.
Yeah. Like they're 1-3, right? This is a team that hasn't performed well this season, right? They're 228 in RBI, but with a 139.5 TPI. Like that is a lot better than a lot of teams around them.
The team next to them has a TPI of 99.
Yeah.
And the team above them has a TPI of 107.
Yeah. And like I know this team well. It's just like Nazareth, just I'm not sure what's going on. It's just not a great fit right now with this team. Looking at their schedule, sorry, that's why I was there. They haven't played really strong teams, right? I think they played only D3 teams.
Right? Yeah. So, and it hurts because a 3-point loss to West Georgia, a 2-point loss to Stevenson, a 3-point loss to Wittenberg, and then they finally beat Northwood. So they're 1-3, but they have a positive point differential on the season.
Right. Yeah.
But that hurts. Like you don't want to lose 3 games that close to bad teams.
Yeah. And I think it's so early, like, yeah, it's frustrating and I'd be a little concerned, but I think in general, like you should trust the talent of your team in the work that you put in, to turn it around. Because every team goes through bad stretches. Maybe this is just this team's.
Yeah, for sure. It very well could be. Or maybe he was working on lineups. We didn't dig into it a whole lot, but
Right. And looking at this team, like I said, it's kind of like I know that Taves has struggled to fit, like kind of put it all together, and it's not easy. Obviously Rodriguez is pretty solid as the point guard, but then like his shooting guard, I think it's Bundy. I think Bundy was like all conference last season, and I'm not sure how. I wish Otis Newton was. I wish like Dominican was in this conference. So then like my guys could have gotten some all conference awards.
It looks like from his historical depth chart anyways, that Thorpe is playing shooting guard.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Wait, what?
And Bundy's backup shooting guard, small forward.
Bundy's backing up this season. I mean, you see here, like he started last year at shooting guard and was all conference, and now he's backing up Thorpe for some reason.
Yeah, and then Womack's at small forward, and Bundy is backing up both Thorpe spots. And Womack. Yeah.
Okay, I see. I mean, I think that's a lot of the defense for Thorpe. That's a big advantage for him, which is important for sure. I mean, like Coppola here, kind of a weird fit, right? A power forward who's only 6'1", And he's not like a good interior defender. So it's almost like, yeah, he's got a high SI, but it's kind of like it just doesn't fit, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think he really plays at all. Um, Koskinen, York, backup dudes. Um, yeah, he's kind of tried rotating like his small forward around his shooting guards a little bit. And I think we saw he's redshirting Rafferty, who is like a really good young player for him.
Yeah. There's also just not a lot of size like anywhere on this roster.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Bernie Henry's starting center at 6'6.5".
and his tallest player is Burton at 6'7.5".
Yeah, yeah. Oh no,
So like,
Burton's a center. Henry's a power forward. Yeah, but
yeah, so like, mm, like you
yeah,
got to get some big men, bud.
yeah. And I mean, I know they've tried. I think Farrell Grimes was their attempt, and Grimes is talented, but he's again not like that big either.
Yeah. It looks like he's trying to address the issue with recruiting this season. So,
Right. Yeah. Right. I think
so
so. Yep. Davenport
and
always
McCurdy.
leading. McCurdy. Yeah. Chad McCurdy. Yeah. I mean, it takes time. It takes, it takes some luck, of course. Yeah. I mean, he's
Yeah.
on a 6'6" power forward out in California too. I remember seeing that.
Who does
Isn't-
not have a comment that would not prefer to play close to home.
Yeah, but it's interesting because like we're in California for our teams, and like no one in California has gone after this guy. So two out of region teams have gone for him now.
Smart.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of skill, and yeah, he's not the best fit, but he can make it work. It looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. What's our next team?
Our next team is, well, we had two teams that we were going to mention for different reasons. So like Northland.
Yeah, Northland.
Who is currently 0-4, but 56th in RPI.
But I mean, the real thing is the TPI.
Yeah.
Is 108.7 right now. That's interesting. I mean, all of it is interesting, being that high up, but 0-4.
Yeah. So like, who have they played? Because they've obviously been playing. Oh yeah, okay. So it's a bot, so nobody cares. But they've played CSU Pueblo and got their asses whooped. They played Wilkes, who's also was a good D3 team that we talked about last year that pro D2, right?
Yeah, yeah. And Wilkes' RPI is not that great, but their TPI is like really good.
Yeah. And then so a closer loss, I guess. Then they played Alaska, who Alaska is a D1 team with their LL3, and they've got some really good players. Yeah, it was a close loss. And then they played ranked Indiana State, and again a close loss. So like they're playing good teams, really tough, even though they have a trash TPI.
Yeah, yeah.
So that helps buoy their RPI schedule and their RPI. Yeah, exactly.
All right, and then what was the other team?
USC Upstate.
Oh yeah, USC Upstate here. So yeah, 47th in RPI, 2-2, like a really good strength of schedule, 639. But a 117 TPI.
Yeah, 117 TPI. One thing that we definitely wanted to mention about them was Sag, that their president, a longtime president from this team, MD Snipe, who's been playing since 2018, a long time, is presumably leaving the game or giving this team up because he was last on March 21st, which is almost a month ago now.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this is a team that's been as high as LL2 with this president. Yeah. I mean, they've just kind of started to fall off. Maybe, getting bored with the game or something. Sucks to see. Yeah. Dang. Oh, wow. Look at those injuries. Plus 12 and plus 2. But yeah. Okay. What else?
So I think we wanted to briefly mention a couple of funny situations from D3. So let's go ahead and filter to the D3.
Okay. Rankings D3. I'm gonna click
We're gonna keep this short at the end of this podcast. We have a hard cap at 2, which is in a few minutes here. So
yeah, okay. Hit me with these teams you want to mention.
Okay, so the first team that we wanted to mention was SIU Edwardsville.
Oh yeah, they were the top ranked TPI team, I remember.
Just sort by TPI.
Okay. Let me do this way. Boom, shakalaka.
So they are the top team in D3 and TPI 147, which 147 is good to be competitive in D2. That's a really good team.
Yeah. And
But
there's like a gap here. Like,
yeah, but they're 398th in RPI.
they're 0-4.
They're 0-4. They're
Wow.
0-4.
I mean, let's look at who they played. And this is the active precedent too. So
Yeah.
but they played a tough schedule, pretty tough. I mean, like Northwestern, I think is a D1 team, pretty good. I mean, not the best, they're solid. Greenville, okay. But Gonzaga is a good D1 team. Black Hill State is a really good D1 team.
Yep. So they've played some really, really tough D1 teams, but then so there's strength of schedule is 565 right now. But their RPI is still 424 because they haven't won a game. So I mean, maybe if they get a couple dubs in a row here, 3 or 4 dubs in a row, that RPI will shoot up a ton.
Yeah.
But it's still a funny situation to look at right now.
Yeah, I mentioned this in our prep. I think this is crazy, just how much these RPIs jump all over the place when we're looking at the top TPI teams. 398 to 2. Cal State Marcos second best TPI, second best RPI. That makes sense. That lines up. But number 1 is 398. That's crazy.
But when you sort by TPI in this division and looking at the top teams in the top 10 or 12 here, you do not expect to see multiple triple digit teams, much less teams in the 213, 146, 235. You do not expect to see that. You just don't.
Right. Yeah.
And then let's go down to Hampton and Le Tourneau.
Where are
you're just past Le Tourneau.
Okay. Where's Hampton?
Hampton's a little bit above them, yeah.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
418 and 492 in terms of their RPI so far, but they're in the top 25 to 30-ish of TPI. And those are good TPIs.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, in Hampton's 2-2. Le Tourneau is 1-3. Okay.
But look at that strength of schedule for Le Tourneau.
Yeah, right.
387. You're playing cupcakes. You're playing Sunday league teams, and you're 1-3.
Yeah, I think this is a bot, so who cares? But whether it may be roster construction, like we've talked about. Although this team has a 6'10" center, a 6'7" power forward that they can use, and I know they're not in the top, 7 guys on this roster by skill, but it's not like this team lacks size. They have a 7-foot junior here.
Yeah,
who's not good, but
I mean, you can get away with having 7-footers and having really talented front courts. It's not ideal, but especially in D3, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
But you can't go 1-3 against one of the easiest schedules in the entire game.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm actually really curious to see if we do all divisions and then sort by strength of schedule where they fall.
Okay. I'll talk about Hampton, I guess, while you're doing that.
898th out of 1008.
Wow. They're just outside the bottom 200.
And they're 1-3.
I mean, okay, I'm looking at Hampton real quick, actually, though.
Yeah, sorry.
They have I don't even know how to describe this guy. Their top SI guy is a power forward who is under 5'10". He's 5'9.5". And when I say starting power forward, I mean starting power forward. What?
Is this also a bot?
No,
it's not.
This is an active owner.
Master Sheep.
Who's played longer than we have.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know either. I mean, they've been in D3 the entire game, with 3 straight 16th place finishes in conference. We all learn the game at different rates.
We do, but if you want advice, feel free to hit our inboxes.
For sure.
Not that we're experts. I'll direct you to Andrew, but he could definitely help.
I don't know. You could probably give him some pointers to start off with. That would help immensely.
I would say do better. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All
Maybe
right.
he's in a really tough recruiting climate. I don't know, but
Hampton is in Virginia. I think that's a pretty solid like
it looks like he's
area.
active recruiting. He's already on
Yeah.
underclassmen. He's on 4 upperclassmen, including a 7'1" guy.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously in high competition, but like he's already on underclassmen. Those guys look good on
Hmm.
quick looks. So maybe maybe he just had a downturn and now he's ready to have an upswing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like we said, he's played longer than we have. Like, you can't exactly blame it on like the previous president or a bot's recruiting. Like, this is their own recruiting.
Yeah, exactly.
And playing, management game roster management. So like, I don't know. But hey, good luck.
Yeah, good luck, man. Good luck, Hampton.
All right. Is there any other teams you wanted to mention, or are we just about wrapped up here? Should we
Yeah, I
wrap
think
up?
we're just about wrapped up.
All right, all right, all right. Franklin Pierce, good luck, VCU. All of y'all, all of y'all. Oh man, I love this. I love this
It's
game.
it's so fantastic. The
Yeah,
variance in this game is amazing.
yeah. All right. So this upcoming week, I don't know if I'll be able to record, so I'm not sure if we'll do a episode. But I think we have some interesting topics. NAF gave us like a whole bunch of he gave us like a list of things, and some other people have given us some suggestions. So I think we have some content like,
You really need to get
you
Naf on
know,
the show.
yeah, shoot, I should message him. Well, here, that's our call out because we know he watches. So like,
Yeah.
well, we should be in touch. But yeah, it'd be great to have a guest like him, and lots of guests. We should work on that some more.
Yep. So real quick before we go, good luck to all the teams competing in the Big 8 tourney tomorrow with your rivalry weeks. Go ahead and get those dubs. Move up the table.
Your WCC pod. We didn't. We just glossed over it with Pacific, but that's obviously going into the second game tomorrow too.
Yeah. So good luck to Pepperdine, but hopefully I get that dub. And good luck to all the other teams. That's why I play.
You play? Okay.
I play Pepperdine. I think it's really
Nice.
cool though, because it actually I value these games a lot. So it's fun.
Yeah, nice. Here's Dominican's rival right now, James Madison. Hey, I think they're gonna be good. I think they're gonna be good this year. So
all right, everyone. This is the Total Podcast Idiots ending and signing off for the day. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.
all right, peace.